Will Malcolm, and Britta, maybe you want to take this since you just wrote a book about Malcolm and Martin, will Malcolm gain more appreciation on a national level for his contributions to the civil rights movement to the point where we may honor him with a national holiday?
Well, I would hope so, but definitely at this point, oh, sorry, I was away to the microphone. Well, I would hope so, but definitely at this point in history, I think there still is a lot of perception gap in the contributions, and most of the attention is always focused on Dr. Martin Luther King. And I think part of it is because, and this is where we educators have to come into play and stress that more, is the history of the post-Mecca Malcolm. The Malcolm that you don't hear so much in the rap musics and the sound bites, you know, the by any means necessary, but the Malcolm who was willing to constructively work together with people of all colors to make social change, revolutionary social change, possible in this country.
Could I say something around that?
I wanted to also, could I ask a question to Peter Bailey? Because what you were saying earlier about what Malcolm and Martin would have wanted in terms of the black community to respect that, when Peter was saying that in the 60s, it was very obvious, and I think everybody can agree on this, that if a black civil rights worker was killed, it was not as perceived nationwide as such a terrible thing as when a white kid was killed, right? And I read a really interesting, and we all remember the Trayvon Martin catastrophe last year, and how Barack Obama reacted to this, and how there was an outcry, not just nationwide, but worldwide, about this terrible thing that here this Latino white guy kills an unarmed black guy. And I read very recently an interesting article in theroot.com written by a black author. You know, me as a white person would probably not even say that, but she was writing that, or I wouldn't dare to say it, she said what we need to have now is the recognition that when, you know, not just that it's a total outrage when a white person kills a black person, but it's just as an outrage if a black person kills a black person, which happens every day in Chicago and on the streets and here. And my question to you would be, do you think that somebody like Malcolm, who expected a really high level of self-discipline of people, would really work harder at that to try to get people to realize that it's not okay for everybody to shoot everybody, and that, as you said earlier, you can't rely on the state and government police to solve that?
I think he would be most involved in fact, again, in other parts of the play, there is a discussion about that, about what goes on there. I happen to believe that Brother Malcolm would not, I'd be very frank with you, and I had a big argument different day, I would oppose a Malcolm X federal holiday. I oppose the stamp. I refused to use that stamp. I put it into my Malcolm X collection, but I told my friends who's still writing letters, don't send me a letter with that Malcolm X stamp on it, because I regard that as an effort to co-opt him into something that they want him to be rather than what he was. I personally believe, and I know this is almost scandalous to say on Martin Luther King holiday, that they have basically reduced Dr. King on the public to "I Have a Dream."
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
And of course, that's how you got the holiday. But this man was, if I was a young black person, I would say, well, why was he assassinated? He was just a dreamer. This man was an activist. He was a man of action who got things done. And to see him just reduced, as I heard Reverend Jeremiah Wright say, when Martin Luther King went to the March on Washington, he did not go there to conduct a revival meeting. He went there for March on Washington for jobs. When he went to Memphis, he did not go there to say, I've been to the mountaintop. He went there because those black garbage workers were getting paid $1.04 an hour. So he was about economic justice. But this whole idea of him is some kind of, spiritual, yeah, right. I mean, this man was not, he was much more than that. And I think that I just, as a Malcolmite, which is what I am, I would not, we would fight to have him reduced like that just to get a holiday or to get, some kind of, federal recognition. I think that we need to snatch Dr. King, the image that people have been saying up here, back from this "I have a dream."